It's that time of year when one of the most popular tropical fruits, the mango, hits Australian supermarket shelves. Harvesting's well underway in the Northern Territory, and the word is that supply's going to be tight after the top-end trees were hit by a heatwave during winter. In a moment, we'll hear about the national outlook for mangoes. But first, Anthea Kissel reports on research in Darwin aimed at weatherproofing future crops.
A sweet and juicy fruit ripened under the blazing top-end sun. About 16,000 tonnes of mangoes are exported from the territory each year. The industry is worth around $40 million.
The territory mangoes are always seen as definitely being in big demand. Being the start of the season, people are always hanging out for their first feed of mangoes.
But growers have faced their fair share of challenges this season. The weather has toyed with an already temperamental fruit.
Overall, the Darwin region seems to be, I expect, about 30% lower than last year. No, last year was a high year for most people. So, yeah, sure, as a region, we're slightly down on what we'd normally expect. I think it's totally climatic, really. I think that the late wet, the variable dry season weather conditions that we got with a lot of warm, humid weather and that sort of things confused the trees somewhat.
Heavy rainfall at the start of the dry season meant orchards flowered late. Weather researchers put the unseasonal rain down to the La Nina effect across northern Australia.
The Pacific Ocean gets cool and the waters around Australia get very warm, and those warm waters pump a lot of moisture into the atmosphere. It has a reasonably strong influence on the temperatures in northern Australia. Temperatures are typically warmer than average, particularly overnight. The overnight minimum temperatures are much warmer than average, and that's what we've certainly seen this year.
Warmer temperatures aren't good news for mango farmers, and an intergovernmental panel on climate change predicts average Darwin temperatures will rise by around 1 degree by 2030. The prediction has prompted scientists to look at the effect of climate change on the famous fruit.
I think it is a concern, although 1 degree most people would think is quite a minor increase. In terms of the physiology of the tree, you have flowering, and you already, here in Outer Darwin at least, the temperatures are already quite high. We're talking about 32, 33, 34 around about flowering time, so we don't know whether we're right on the edge of, whether the trees here can actually stand that temperature. So from a departmental point of view, we're just trying to help the growers and see if it is a point, and then, what can we do to help them.
Dr. Peter Stevens' research identified temperatures in the month of July as a crucial factor. Trees capable of producing up to 13 trays of fruit yielded only 4 trays when exposed to temperatures above 32 degrees. Scientists trialled a cooling irrigation system on trees during flowering. Temperatures soared above 32 degrees on all but one day during the trial.
Through overhead irrigation, you get evaporative cooling, and actually causes the trees to cool. So when we put the temperature probes on the tree, what we actually get is a 4 degree decrease in temperature on those trees on average.
The cooling by irrigation resulted in a 52% increase in yield and a 48% increase in fruit weight. More research is needed, but the early data have excited growers.
Definitely the preliminary results we've got from Peter Stevens' trial work is a very significant increase in yield, and while we've had a fairly exciting result, we need to figure out how to actually put that into a commercial procedure.
We're probably applying too much water. We're applying about 2 litres per minute through the sprayers. We're using them for up to 5 hours a day during the hot time of the year. So from a grower perspective, probably using that methodology is probably not viable either economically or sustainably.
Ian Baker has been involved in the Northern Territory mango industry since the 1980s. He says until now, there's been little research to confirm what growers have long suspected.
We always presumed that a cool dry season was the biggest influencer of flowering. But until we had a long-term history of some yield data that we could use that to correlate with weather data, we really didn't have any info. That was just a presumption on our part. So the analysis that has been done is very interesting, and it's also very important as we go into what may be a period of climate change. We're all very, very concerned. We have to live with the weather every year, and we're all very concerned about the year-to-year variances.
The Weather Bureau says this year's hot and wet conditions are a sign of what to expect when climate change takes hold.
It's probably a little bit of a taste of the future, this warm year that we've experienced. 2010, we've observed, over the dry season period, we've observed temperatures on average 1 to 2 degrees above normal. So while 2010 will go down as an exceptional year, an exceptionally warm year, come 2030 it's probably going to be more of the norm.
The industry body says farmers are now beginning to realise how changing weather patterns will impact on production.
We've been under a lot of pressure in most seasons recently from reducing margins and so anything we can do to increase yield while maintaining quality will be very significant to our operation.
Further research will depend on funding and access to facilities, like a special climate-controlled space for monitoring the effect of temperatures on mango trees.
We're talking to a variety of companies at the moment to try and get funding, and as I say, we're talking to a variety of universities. Universities have access to funding which our department does not have access to, so we're looking at a whole range of different ways to further this work and ensure that it does get done.
Mango crops in Katherine are now ready for harvest, and growers are hoping that the cooler temperatures there will mean yields won't be depleted. To the north, growers remain optimistic. Production may be down, but prices have been steady and the fruit is as popular as ever. Farmers have been striving for decades to produce the perfect mango, and they're confident the challenges of nature can be overcome.
Oh yeah, always. Farmers are always positive, always optimistic. You couldn't be a farmer if you're a pessimist, so you have to be an optimist. There's always more to learn, and always more things to try, and always more things to find out.
The Territory Government is optimistic a new breed of mango will take off, one that may even get some added pizzazz to stand out in the market.
Of course, when it comes out, it's got a very strange name, like K1234. And I thought, it's small, it's beautiful, it's an Australian icon. What comes in mind? Kylie.
Three new varieties of mango have been developed in the top end.
Ah, beautiful.
And the Primary Industry Minister wants one of them named after the Australian singer. The idea has attracted worldwide attention.
We want to send a box of mangoes to Kylie. I think it would be really nice if we're going to name it after her. At least she has a taste of the fruit that's named after her. But tell you what, I'm going to eat it before Kylie gets the first box.